أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ثم قست قلوبكم من بعد ذلك فهي كالحجارة أو أشد قسوة وإن من الحجارة لما يتفجر منه الأنهار وإن منها لما يشقق فيخرج منه الماء وإن منها لما يهبط من خشية الله وما الله بغافل عما تعملون. Then your hearts became hardened after that, till they were like stones or harder still. For of stones indeed there are some out of which gush forth streams, and of them there are some out of which flows water, when they cleave asunder. And indeed of them there are some that humble themselves for fear of Allah, and Allah is not unmindful of what you do. Okay. Summa, you're all familiar with the word now. Summa is then. Qasad, it became hardened. Okay. Thumma qasad, then became hardened. What became hardened? Qulub, hearts. Qulubukum, your hearts. Okay. So qulub, as qalbun is heart, qulub is hearts, plural. Thumma, then qasad, became hardened. Qulubukum, your hearts. So your hearts became hardened. Mim ba'di zalika. Min is from. Ba'd is after. Zalika, that. So when you translate this as a whole, you translated it that then your hearts became hardened after that. Min ba'di zalika, after that. Okay, but split word will be min is from, ba'd is after, zalika, that. After that incident, your hearts became hardened. Fahiya, so, fa is so, heya, that was kal hijara, right? Kal hijara is, ka is like, okay? Like al hijara, like the stones, like stones. Okay, so it's saying that your hearts became hardened after that. Kasat became hardened, like kal hijara, like stones. Aw, or ashaddo. Ashad is more intense, more severe. Kaswa, harder. Okay, now if you go back, kasat is the past tense, that it became hardened. Kaswa is the noun, you could say that it harder, something which is extremely hard. Okay, so Allah the Almighty is saying that it became like the stones. Kal hijara, ka is like, al hijara, the stones, or, aw is or, ashaddu, more intense, kaswa, harder. Okay, so here it says till they were like stones or harder still, right? But this is the general translation. Wa inna, and surely, inna, surely, min, from or of, al hijara, of the stones, lama, what indeed, la is what, ma, indeed. Okay, lama yatafajjaru. Yatafajjaru is he bursts forth. Okay, meaning it rushes out, bursts forth. Minho, min is from, minho, from it. Al anhar, streams. So let's see what it says here. For of stones indeed there are some out of which gush forth streams. Okay. For of stones, okay, wa inna min al hijara, for of stones, lama, indeed, yatafajjaru, will be which gush forth, minhu, out of or from it, al anhar, streams. Yes, so we were here. So lama, what indeed, yatafajjaru, burst forth, minhu, from it, al anhar, streams. So Allah is saying there are certain stones that burst forth from it, from those stones, al anhar, streams. Wa inna, and surely indeed, minha, from it, lama, what indeed, yashaqqaqu, that cleaves asunder, fayakhruju, so he flows, minhu, from that, Al-ma, water. Okay. So there are certain difficult words, but we have to understand the context as well. Let's go up. And of them there are some out of which flows water when they cleave asunder. So wa inna, and indeed, minha, from it, lama, what indeed, yashakkako, he cleaves asunder, or that cleaves asunder, fayakhruju, so flows, he flows, minhu, from that, alma, water. Okay. Wa inna, and surely, minha, min is from, minha, from that, from it, minha, from that, lama, what indeed, yahbetu, he humbles himself, min khashyatillah, min, from, khashya is the fear of Allah. So here it says, and indeed of them there are some that humble themselves for fear of Allah. وَمَاللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. وَمَاللَّهُ, and ma, not Allah, بِغَافِلٍ, unmindful, amma, from what, ta'malun, you do. Amma is actually amma is actually un, from, ma, what. Amma, from what. So when you connect the ayn and the meme, the noon gets dropped, so it becomes amma. So amma, from what, ta'malun, you do. Wa mallahu bighafilin, and Allah is not unmindful, he is not unaware, amma, of what, ta'malun, you do. أفتطمعون أن يؤمنوا لكم وقد كان فريق منهم يسمعون كلام الله ثم يحرفونه من بعد ما عقلوه وهم يعلمون. Do you expect that they will believe you when a party of them hear the word of Allah, then pervert it after they have understood it, and they know the consequences thereof? So alif, we've spoken about this a few times, usually comes to indicate a form of a question. Afatatma'una, that do you expect? Okay. Afatatma'una, do you expect? So this will be with a question mark, that do you expect? Allah is saying, afa, do, afatatma'una, do you expect, an, that, yu'minu, yu'minu, that they will believe, lakum, will be in you. La is normally for, lakum, for you or in you. Okay. Waqad, wa, and qad, indeed, kana, he was, fariqun, a party. So when we say, this is split word, kana, okay, but when we say qad kana fariqun, it will be that there was a party. Okay, do you expect that they will believe you when a party of them hear the word of Allah? Okay, so waqad kana fariqun, and there was a party, minhum, min, from, minhum, from them, yasma'una, they hear, kalam Allahi, the word of Allah. Thumma, then, yuharrifunahu. Yuharrifuna means to change. Yuharrifuna, who, the who is referring to the kalam Allah, the word of Allah. Then they change it. Min ba'di ma akaluhu, min, from, ba'd is after, ma is what? After, akalu, they understood, who, it, they have understood it. Okay. And wahum, and they, ya'lamun, and they know. So akalu, they understood, who, it. So let's have a look at the 5-volume commentary quickly. See some of the difficult words there. Right. So yashakkaku, as you can see here, lama yashakkaku, it says cleave asunder, which is originally yatashakkaku, is derived from shakka, meaning he cut it open or he clove it. So tashaqqaqa means it clove or broke asunder. Okay, so this is where the verb comes from. Okay, that it cut or it cleave asunder. Right. So wa inna minha lama yashaqqaqu. It says him wa inna minha, and of them there are some out of which flows yashaqqaqu, water when they cleave asunder. Yashaqqaqu, they cleave asunder. Okay. Right. And the next verse we studied was this one. Right. Yuharrifunahu, they perverted, is derived from harafa, which means he turned a thing aside, he made a thing inclined away. The infinitive harf means the side or border of a thing. Harf al-qawl means he changed or removed a word or speech or writing from its proper place. Number two, he made a word or speech or writing inclined from its position so as to give it a wrong significance. Thus, tahrif, you might have heard of this word tahrif. Some people state that there has been a tahrif, a change in the Quran. So tahrif may be either that by one, omitting or adding or changing a word or sentence, or by number two, perverting it or putting a wrong interpretation on it. So Sayyidina Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam mentioned that there has been absolutely no tahrif in the Holy Quran, no omitting, no adding, no changing a word of sentence. Okay, some Muslims do claim that they might have been some tahrif in the Quran in its earlier days, but as Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam said that there is absolutely no tahrif. So when we say yuharrifunahu, it means they pervert it, they change it. Okay, and they pervert it min ba'di ma akaluhu, after they have understood it, wa hum ya'lamun, and they know the consequences thereof. So let's go back to the verses again. Thumma, then, qasat, became hardened, right? So it says, then became hardened. Qasat qulubukum, then your hearts became hardened. Mim ba'di zalika, after that. Ba'di zalika, after that. Fahiya kal hijara, right? Till they were like stones. Fahiya, so, or you can say fahiya, so they were like stones. But here in the general translation, it says till they were like hijara, stones, aw ashaddu qaswa, okay, or harder still. Ashad is more intense, qaswa is harder. So very, very similar, right? Or harder still. Wa inna min al hijar. It says for of stones, wa inna min al hijara, or you could say wa inna, surely, min al hijara, from the stones. Here it says for of the stones, indeed, inna, indeed, and lama is also what indeed. Okay, lama, where are we? Right. Wa inna min al hijarate, for of stones indeed, lama yatafajjaru minhul anhar. Indeed, there are some out of which yatafajjaru, gush forth, minhu, from it, al anhar, streams. So there are some out of which, minhu, out of which, yatafajjaru, gush forth, al anhar, streams. Wa inna, minha, and surely, of them, minha, from them or of them, lama, again, you could say indeed. Here it says there are some yashakkaku, and they've brought the verb right to the end, right? Yashakkaku, they've said when they cleave asunder. So let's just leave this out for now. First, they've translated, and of them there are some out of which water flows, fayakhruju minhul ma, out of which water flows when yashakkaku, when they cleave asunder. Okay, so I'm trying to explain both the general as well as the split word translation to you, hopefully, which will make it easier for us to understand. Wa inna, and indeed, minha, of them or from them, lama, again, indeed, yahbetu, there are some that humble. Where yahbetu, they humble themselves for what? Min, for or from, khashiyatillah, fear of Allah. Wamallahu, and Allah is not. He is not bighafilin, unmindful, unaware. Amma, of what? About what? Ta'malun, about what you do. Okay, and the next verse is Afatatma'una yu'minu lakum. Afatatma'una, do you expect? An, that, yu'minu, that they believe, lakum, you, in you or you. Waqad kana fariqun. Waqad, when, kana, min kana fariqun, when a party, minhum, of them, from them, yasma'una, hear, kalam, the word, Allah, of Allah. Waqad kana fariqun minhum yasma'una kalam Allahi, when a party of them hear the word of Allah, thumma, then, yuharrifunahu, they pervert it, min ba'di ma akaluhu, after they have akaluhu, understood it. Wahum, and they, ya'lamun, they know, right? This is enough that they know, but they know the consequences thereof, of perverting with the word of Allah the Almighty. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.